Alright guys, this is my my circuit for my automatic block system to run 2 trains on a single loop. I have 2 of these on my layout. I have 2 loops, each running 2 trains. This is the schematic I came up with. I am not claiming this is all mine original. I'm sure I got this from bits and pieces off the internet and just kind of put it together. Maybe even got some off the Classic Toy Trains forum. Start off, this right here is not a connection. Okay, so if you do use this schematic, this is not a connection here. Alright, that's why it's scribbled out. So what we have here is the schematic. What you have up here is the control block, isolating pins, and this rail is also isolated. If you're going to do this setup, you need to make sure that every tie on whichever side you choose of the outside rail is insulated. Every tie has to be completely isolated. Over here, this is the stop block, okay, and you're going to have isolation pins on your stop block, however long it is. Center rail is obviously insulated because we're dealing with Lionel 3-rail track, and your wire will go to there. You can kind of see here how everything is set up. This is your relay, your defeat switch, so if you want to run a single train on that loop, flip the switch, you're good to go. It's your bridge rectifier, your capacitor. Your capacitor is going to be a 35 volt, 470 microfarad capacitor. Okay, and the connections you're going to have 14 volts. Actually, if you look over here, I made myself a little diagram here. This is the actual how it lays out physically on the circuit board. Alright, this is what you'll actually see on the circuit board. Your wire connectors here, alright, and where they go. And so you can see I have, this is the isolated insulated outer rail for the trigger. Okay, it's 14 volts accessory from the transformer. That's accessory, that's constant 14 volts. Up here you're going to have variable track voltage, and that's your throttle. And then these two are your control block and your stop block. Alright, this is what's switching your rails. This is what's switching your center rails on your control block and your stop block. These both would go to the relay. One's normally closed, one's normally open. Alright, and you can cross-reference what you see there over to the schematic. Alright, I know this is going to be sideways. I'm trying to get you a good shot here so you have a good reference to copy it if you choose to use this schematic. Okay. Also down here, parts list. Now I had some other parts for another project too that was kind of mixed in here. So the important things on this part list are if you're doing 2 trains on a single loop, you only need to make 1 circuit board if you use this. Alright, so the 275248 is your relay, you need 1. 2761152 is your bridge rectifier, you need 1 of those. If you decide to use a defeat switch, you need 1. The plastic terminal strips is what I call the little connectors. This is all bought at Radio Shack, and a circuit board from Radio Shack. Okay, your capacitor, as I jotted down and said, is 35 volt, 470 microfarad. You need 1. Alright, again, looking at this physical topology of this circuit here, you have 1 defeat switch, you have a bridge rectifier, you have a capacitor, and you have your relay, and then you have your 3 2-wire terminal strips. Okay? That's it. There's your circuit. Over here is the actual circuit board itself, the physical circuit board. Alright, see if we can get a good shot on here. Alright, you can see how everything's physically laid out. Again, if I flip that switch, trains are just going to run. There will be no stop block, there will be no control block. Everything will just flow. Okay, and how I wired it on the back, nothing fancy. In fact, I'd almost call it kind of crude. I'm getting a little tangled here. Let's see. Okay. Right, easy peasy, nothing to it. Alright, I laid out my components so that I'd have the easiest amount, or the easiest wiring from the back, so I didn't have to have too many things crossing over each other. Just works out a lot easier that way. Take the time to design your circuit, and makes it real easy when you're actually putting it together and wiring it. Alright, so again, there's a circuit board. Usually just tuck that up in there. Okay, now onto the track so you can get a visual if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, or if you're new to three-rail track here. Alright, there's the train. It's going to come around here. My control block starts right there. Insulation pin, and as you can see, I pulled the ties, insulated the ties. Goes for 2 straights. Every tie is insulated. Every outside tie on this side of the track is insulated. Okay, and there's where it ends. There's my insulation pin. Okay, it's your control block. As soon as that train comes around, hits that control block, I'm going to flip the relay, and this train over here, which is sitting about right in the middle of the stop block, is going to be activated. Alright, and over here, my stop block starts right here. Obviously your center rail is already insulated, and I have insulated it around to right here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a couple inches. This train, when I have it running the speed I want, usually stops somewhere right about there. So as you can see, you're in between, about right in the middle of that stop block. Now I had to experiment with this, you know, to try and get it to stop where I wanted it, and to make sure that I had it placed good in the control block. So it took me a little bit of time to get this where I wanted it. Let's see how it works. Get the engines rolling. Alright. Train's released over here. Alright. Stop block. A little bit of coast. Let's come over here. Right. It's going to hit that block. It's going to hit the control block and release that. There it goes. And stop. Alright. The other thing I wanted to show you is right in here. You can see that Army switcher, and there's a Navy switcher there on that small loop there. And you can see back there, you can see that circuit board just dangling in there. Same circuit board as I just showed you that I have hooked up to the other loop. Alright, let's get this one rolling. This is more of a continuous run of these trains. They don't pause too long, as you can see. And that's that. There it is. 2 different loops, 2 trains running on each loop. The circuit, the schematic, the diagram, physical layout, actual circuit itself. So that's it. I hope somebody can get something out of this video. Hope you found it interesting, and thanks for watching.